Hello everyone, 4 decisive games today in the open section of the candidates tournament. Incredible day for spectators, and the final press conference, Nepomniachtchi just won against Alireza Firouzja. The final game of the day is finished. Well, the game to a naked eye was absolutely crazy. You're king on d3. We need your help to navigate through it. First of all, I noticed you followed the game that was already played like up to this point, I think. Was it all your prep, or you're already on your own?
Yeah, funny question. No, of course it was prep. It was some game by Vassiv Durabali, I think, against Rothstein, and Rothstein played queen d7, which is slightly passive. So queen d3 is, queen d3 is basically a draw by force, but I mean, in some lines it's just like compensation for white. So I couldn't really recall what was my plan after. I mean, it's hard to predict like this particular line will happen. So queen e8 is a good move, the last thing I remembered. So like here, as far as I remember, in many positions, just computer plays h4, as long as you cannot take on h4, like you open h file and you get mated, like queen c2, knight f6, whatever. Then white is just crushing, so h4 is like you grab some space. There is also like bishop e3, so this is just an equal position, yeah, like so some weird structure, but very nice two bishops, and slightly more active pieces, yeah, like at least for now for a pawn. So h4 was, I'm not sure, I think it exists, but it was already just some sort of improvisation. Well, the main idea after king h8 to have knight g5, and then open up h file and play rook h1. So surely knight on b6, it takes some time. For black to bring this knight back into play. So knight c8, here I tried to calculate knight g5, but knight d6 I think it's fine. So I played h5, and here I was a bit shocked. So I thought like normal move was like knight d6, h6, g6, like queen e2. I mean, like maybe white is not like pressing, but like okay, two bishops and they grab a lot of space and always some ideas against the king. So I was sort of shocked that h6, okay, I expected him to play g5, but okay, I couldn't believe that such move could work. But I think it's a good one, so I never can take on g5, in fact. And, well, for example, like after queen c2, if it would be my turn, I would have a study like queen, yeah, like imagine like rook b8, like knight f6, bishop f6, queen f5, and bishop c2, and then mate on h7. But unfortunately, just is turn-based strategy. So here, I think after queen c2, he just plays f5, knight g3. Here, either f4 or knight d6. Maybe here bishop b2. So this would be some normal continuation, I guess, like bishop f6. I don't know, so it's like a wild position, of course. I don't know, maybe this, and this. So it should be, I don't know, like bishop d5, maybe g4. So I couldn't evaluate it like, let's say, from distance. And, well, probably white has nice compensation, but, I mean, that's just a wild game. So here, at some point, I just panicked and played queen d2. And, well, it would be a nice move. I'm playing queen d7, but knight d6 is very good. Bishop b2, and here, basically, let's say after rook d8, I probably have to play something like queen e2. Maybe first take on d6, I'm not so sure, but this is a bit shameful, so that losing a full tempo. And also, like, the problem if, let's say, if I take on d6, then, okay, he goes knight e7, knight g6, f6, and I think he has a very nice position. Yeah, like, so like, all his pieces went back into play. So knight f5 is principal, but I was, like, pleasantly surprised with this move, because after queen d7 I felt like, I mean, unless there is something very concrete, I shouldn't be worse.
So does it mean that before knight f5 you're already a bit worried about your position?
No, I mean, okay, queen d2 is sort of like, I don't know, like maybe it's not such a bad move, but I mean, it's so natural, yeah, like it only could be excused by queen d7 and what actually happened in the game, but I mean, it's hard to say like if there is like any other benefits. So bishop b2, okay, knight f5, queen d7. So one option was like to take on d7, rook d7, and let's say rook c8, planning b5, knight b8. So this is like very messy. I'm not sure, maybe even like rook e7 works sometimes. But I also had something like bishop d5 here. At least I thought it maybe it works. With the idea knight b8, I think rook e7, knight e7, bishop b7, and here white should be massively better, I guess. Despite like just an exchange down, but then okay, c4, a5, b5, maybe just winning. So I thought like, all right, this should be fine. So Okay, when we went to this position, yeah, like, sorry. Yeah, knight h4 check. Okay, king g3. I mean, this move existed, but it doesn't look good. So f5, knight g3, f4 takes b5, like very principal, f4. I mean, here I could always like play something like queen e8, play it positionally, despite like having 2 pawns less. I think it's not so bad for me, like the knight e4, some blockade. But I wasn't sure like it's so smart because, well, I mean, knight e4 is very principal, but I wasn't sure what's happening after queen h5. B takes c6, queen h1, king e2. And maybe queen knight g1 doesn't work, but maybe we discussed like after the game that maybe queen h5 works here, and then okay, knight d4 is very annoying, and I don't really see a way to improve. So I'm not sure, like queen d3, okay, like, maybe bishop c4, but I mean this check is like so annoying. I mean like bishop c4, then maybe rook d8, queen e7. Maybe it's still like in some way, I don't know, maybe it's winning for white, maybe it's like, okay, I have a draw king f1, but a part of it I wasn't sure. But okay, during the game I didn't see this idea, so I thought like only some forcing checks, and checks I don't think it works. So knight a5. I think here I played not a great move. So all right, like bishop e6 or bishop a2 is like both natural. So I wanted like bishop e6 to gain some extra control over h3 and g4. But maybe after his response, it becomes like very sharp. And here, imagine my bishop would be on a2. I just would play something like, I don't know, like king e2, then I don't know, king d3, just rook h1. Would be fine, but here rook e8 and always it takes
Yeah, the
my
problem
bishop.
that this bishop is always hanging, right?
Yeah, so that's why I had to play bishop d7 or bishop f7. I was sort of, I was also considering c4. It would be a rook e8, queen takes g5.
Oh my
And
god, that's
looks
nice.
nice, but problem is like after rook e6, yeah, I think I should fight for draw. I mean, it still goes on like queen h6, rook h6, like king e2, knight d4, maybe rook b4, takes, okay, whatever. Then check, no, there is no check, rook g6 after g1, so it doesn't work. So bishop f7, okay, he also was in time trouble, so that surely helped. And here I thought, all right, maybe at least I'm not going to lose this, yeah.
So you were sure like that you are not going to lose this, you're just playing for win, it's very messy.
I didn't see a draw by force, and I didn't see how am I losing, so consider it, maybe I can even win, yeah? Like, by some logical operations, you come up to this conclusion. And this, I think, very unfortunate, like queen f5. I think bishop d5 is very solid. I guess here he just panics. I don't think it's like the only try. Maybe king takes f3, g4, king g2, rook f7, and then like queen b4 also works, but okay, I didn't want to check it. I really like this move, so he did this. Okay, like very normal to run forwards. And here I really expected him to resign at any moment, but somehow he put up some great resistance. So this and queen h3, because I missed this move. Okay, maybe I should have tried king c2, rook c8, and d6, like, because okay, I'm already a rook up, and then my pawn goes to c7 or like a b6 or d6, but I wasn't so sure, like knight d4, queen b3, okay, another series of checks. So here I also panicked and calculated knight g3. I mean, if I have g3, bishop e5. And I capture everything with check and trade queens as well.
So knight g3 was a panicked move because it looked like it's another great move.
No, it's just probably I'm winning in a clean way, but you know, like I guess maybe like queen takes e5 even should work here, but I didn't want to try. Yeah, like some knight d4 maybe. Yeah, like knight d4 then knight g3, but okay, I didn't want to try. So knight c4. Well, again here, like king c4, rook c8, b6 made a lot of sense. Should be completely winning for me, of course, but. I don't know, like I
Can you just show it on the board for everyone to see?
Yeah, like rook
yes,
c8,
in this case you
rook
play
c8,
just b6, yeah.
and I guess b6 or d6. I'm not sure which exactly, but well, I was worried about like blundering this pawn in some way. Probably after b6 I can't blunder because he has no checks simply. But I wasn't that sure. Yeah, like so once again should be winning, but you know still some tricks. So I took everything, and here okay just took them the key idea that after queen g3 I just run like king c2. And after rook c8, I had this idea from the game, rook h1. So he included ab. And here, I mean, good for me, it was like 40 move. Because this ab rook c8, which I did in the game, looks scary because I let him take on d5 with the tempo. But I mean, there's always like some opportunity to blunder, like for example, queen e4. So I move queen g3 and king c2. I think after queen g2, I'm not sure if I'm losing, but it doesn't look like I'm better anymore, yeah, because there is knight d2 check, and he just
the queen
takes my queen, yeah, so I think this was a very principal, ab, rook c8, rook h1, queen d7. yeah, queen e4, so if takes, then okay, I just go here. I mean, h7, like mate in 1 is very serious. So he played, I thought maybe he has moved like g4, king e3, and like last chance queen c7, idea queen b6, or queen c2. But here I calculated like rook h7, queen h7, bishop e5, knight e5, queen e5. Let's say queen, okay, king g8, obviously queen e6, and this like rook h1, yeah. And I think I win with rook. So here, I guess, okay, I used some time, but I checked like everything like twice, 3 times, 4 times, like, but I couldn't see like what's happening. Yeah, and this is just a full rook.
Yeah, which is
yeah, which is enough. Yeah.
which is enough, more than enough. So it looks like his time travel played a role in this game.
I mean, it didn't hurt, of course.
So what do you think generally about the time control? Do you prefer the time controls with the increment or like this without the increment?
I mean, it's both exists, yeah, and I only want like to have one time control at all the tournaments, yeah, like without or with increment, but normally like FIDE changes like time control every event. And
But do you have your own preference? This or
I don't know. So whatever works for me is good. What doesn't work is not good.
so it might change
Today,
depending on the result.
today, yeah,
this is the best time
this was
control.
brilliant time control, like absolutely, yeah. Very nice time control, yeah.
So Jan, what are your general emotions after a first win?
Well, not so many emotions. Yeah, it's good to win, of course, and especially good when you managed to win in such a unclear and messy game. But I mean, it's like only round 2, and I guess a lot of blood was spilled today. Yeah, so
Yeah, for
yeah.
so.
So I mean, yeah, it's once again to win is better to make a draw, and so on.
Do you have some questions from the audience? I'm sure you have some. Yes, please. Here. Yeah.
Jan, did you talk with Alireza after the game? Why didn't he play queen h5? I mean, this is a lot of practical chances, or not?
You mean queen h5, like queen h1 is queen h5?
When no, at a certain point he could play the queen on the king side, and then he played, I think, knight a5 or something.
Yeah, okay, but that's the line actually I was showing. Yeah, like so.
But he didn't say why he didn't do that.
Did you have a chance to discuss with him?
Yeah, we discussed a little, but I don't think he saw the idea queen h1 check and queen h5 back. But a part of this idea, I'm not so sure it's such a routine draw. I mean, okay, black has a lot of checks, but maybe those checks are just not enough. Yeah, because I'm also like some sort of coming for g7 square. I mean, it's very, very tough, like for pro-twin player to calculate.
Do we have more questions? Yes, please.
Yeah. Jan, you and Alireza have reputations as creative, uncompromising, aggressive players. Yet in your past 3 candidates' games against each other, you're 3-0 in 3 very messy, very bloody games. What do you think has contributed to this?
I don't know. It's. I mean, games are never, like each other. Yes. So, I mean, previous 2 games, I think, like with White, he won against me in Bucharest, like right after the match, and then he won in Vaikanze. So, it was also. Wasn't my best game, but also was very, very, very creative from both sides. I would say. I don't know what to say. Like. I mean, sometimes you also make draws, but yeah, I think in our last 6 games or 7 games, maybe it was only 1 draw, and White celebrates a lot of victories. So,
Do we have more questions? Sagar, please.
Jan, until what moment was it your preparation? Because there was a game. Queen d3 wasn't played in that game, Durar Bailey game.
well, it went for, I mean, some more moves, but it didn't really help me because, okay, after Queen e8, I couldn't recollect my, in my lines in the memory, so I just sort of pushed h4 and decided to hope for the best here.
Do we have any more questions? It was a long game. It was a great game.
Thank you.
So you deserve your rest now for sure. Congratulations once again.
Thank you.
And see you in the next days.
I see you around.
Thank you. Jan.